welcome to Across the Bifrost, the Mighty Thor podcast, where on each and every episode we explore the world of Marvel's Mighty Thor. On today's episode, we're going to be looking ahead at 2026 and all of the Thor things that we have to look forward to, or to look Thorward to. We're going to be talking about comics, movies, and movies, MCU related things, and other areas of games, books, other things that are coming out that have our guy in them. And we're going to be breaking that down with myself and Faz and Eric. Guys, 2025 is in the books. So is there any final word on 2025 before we look ahead to 2026? Eric, do you have a parting shot for 2025?
Parting shot, I'll say 2025 is in the past, man. That's old news. It was a banger year, but that's like yesteryear. Let's move on to something new.
Like a year ago.
Yeah,
so much 90s slang in one sentence. I love it.
Faz, are you still living in the past? Are you ready
I have reverence for the past. For the past, and the thing I'm most excited for is the Bifrosties that will be coming out at some point.
Yes.
Dear listeners, so please don't forget about that. I can't close the door on 2025 until we declare the winners and losers of all Thordom with I Am Ryan Doze as the judge. So you guys are crazy for moving on, but I'm still stuck in the past, baby.
Look that you read my literal Zoom handle there. Eric's the only one that has like just first name, last name. I have a handle. You have
I have first name, last name.
Well, yes, but then other words.
Your government name, yeah.
Your government name. Which, by the way, real quick side tangent, Faz, I have to ask you this for listeners to benefit from, but my wife, Kim, asked me a question today of what people in your real life call you. Because we call you by your nickname.
So at work, like other lawyers, like people that don't work at my office would call me Christopher, or they would call me Mr. Fazio the first time they meet me. And then I'd be like, hi, it's Christopher. Nice to meet you. And then we'd, use regular names.
Don't let that ever happen again.
In the office, a lot of people call me Faz or Fazio.
Okay.
Some call me Christopher because we've got so many Chris's at the office that we don't want to. And then a lot of people call me Chris, which I generally speaking don't go by out of respect for Eric's spouse. But people at the office unfortunately don't know Eric's spouse, so because of that, sometimes it still gets through. Yeah.
It's a loophole in the rules.
Yeah. So everything from Chris to Christopher to Faz to Fazio to Faz to Fazio. Some people call me my liege. Some people call me just like the greatest of all time. I've had people call me king a couple times. It really depends.
Actually, did anybody ever call you Fozzie Bear?
Yes. So there's one law clerk. He is a 50-year-old man who calls me Fozzie Bear.
And he fucking loves the Muppets.
He fucking loves the Muppets. You are correct. Yes.
He heard your name pronounced once, and he was like, "Oh shit!"
I'm a very big nickname guy at work. Like I give a lot of people nicknames when we go through there. So he wanted to give me one, and he thought that I would be like offended by the fact that it was a Muppet. And I was like, "Hell yeah, man!" And he was like, You're okay with this?" He was like, "Really?" And he got very excited to call me it, not in like a mean, disparaging way. He just loves the Muppets and thought I would be offended. And when I wasn't, he's now always using it.
He's the funniest Muppet, though. So that's a compliment.
Not just any Muppet. He's the beatnik stand-up comedy Muppet.
Yeah.
Right. Waka waka.
Wonder where I get my shtick from, right? There we go. It's all coming together.
Everybody, that's the question you really came here wanting the answer to, but I had to because it was burning in my brain, and I had to get it. I had to get that totally off my chest at this point. We are ready to look forward to 2026, and like Faz said, we do have the Bifrosties coming up. That is our award, our Emmys, our Oscars, our Tonys. We will be doing things like best issue, best villain, best supporting character, things like that, best variant cover. I forget all the categories we did last year, but we have that coming up, and voting will be open on that on Discord, Instagram, all the places you can find us on the internet. So that is coming up, but we are going to fast forward just a little bit, or for us, we're going to fast forward a little bit. We are going to be talking about comics, the MCU, and other areas that Thor might be involved in this year. And we're going to start with kind of our bread and butter. That's comics. We love the MCU stuff, but really, a lot of times, guys, we talk about comics. So Thor has a few different ongoing series that he's involved with. Namely, we should probably start with his main series. So do either of you guys want to just like take the lead on what's coming up? What can we expect in the main Thor book moving into 2026?
I mean, I can jump in. We got the mortal Thor. So in 2025, we made a big transition into from immortal Thor to mortal Thor, and it was a restart at number 1. We are up to Thor number 5 so far. We've got 6 we've got on the way, and we've seen solicitations through number 8, I believe.
Yeah.
So this is an ongoing, folks. We don't know exactly when it's going to end. But remember,
I know when it's going to end.
This year, we did learn that it's an act, where it's a 3-part story, and we just finished Act 1.
Yeah.
So we do have some clues about, it's not going to be wrapping up anytime soon. We've got a lot more story to tell, at least through the end of the year, and if not most of the next year, something like that. So this ongoing title, and hey. And if it sells really well, maybe they just kind of keep it going. You never know with ongoings, right? There's no definitive endpoint that's been pitched so far.
And I love that we have Faz often reminds us of this. Like Thor is technically off the board.
I don't even know who you guys are talking about. Do you mean founding Avenger Beta Ray Bill? I'm a big fan of him.
All of Midgard's minds were wiped. Faz's mind was not spared in this. We have to keep convincing him that this entity, persona named Thor.
Why are you guys so into Norse mythology? The key word is mythology. Like Beta Ray Bill's an alien. That's much more grounded and real, you know?
But it's not real,
with his science hammer named Stormbreaker.
Oh gosh, I'm excited for a few different things going forward into 2026. I thought it would be kind of fun for us to, since this is our main book and it's the one that we review the most. Do you guys have like a wild prediction for something that will happen in this book this year? Anything you're like, oh, I kind of hope this happens or this might happen. Complete speculation, of course. But Faz, you have something that you would want to happen in 2026 with our main book?
In terms of predictions, I think it's going to end at 25, which means that it'll end next year and not this year. But I think we're going to keep getting kind of an intertwined mess of the Midgard stuff, the Asgard stuff, and kind of whatever Thor's doing in Vidlane.
Right.
To the point that they keep kind of making things more difficult for Sigurd, and he builds into the man that he's meant to be. And that's partly a prediction, but mostly just a hope, because that last issue where we got kind of all 3 worlds sort of converging was awesome. And I want that every time. I want the grounded stuff, but I need a little bit of the mystical Thor things for it to kind of be a Thor book for me. Otherwise, we're watching Daredevil with a hammer, which is cool, but I'm here for the blonde guy.
I agree. Like Eric and I had talked in our reviews of issues 2 and 3, how like, man, this is like our grounded, gritty street, Thor. But then when we got issue 4, it was like, oh my goodness, it's like a Asgard one shot, and I loved it. So I agree. The intertwining moving forward. Eric, do you have a prediction or a hope for our main book in 2026?
I've got a hope of some very specific things. I want to see Sigurd interact with Beta Ray Bill.
Bingo.
Which I think could happen.
Oh, yeah.
I want to see Hercules make an appearance, because we did get one name drop in Mortal Thor number 1 saying, like, gods are hard to believe it's really a god unless they are like lifting a bust like Hercules or something like that. So I think Hercules is confirmed, like they still exist and they're on Earth.
Right.
And then I want to see the Enchantress murder Magni, because I think Al Ewing loves to weave little prophecies in there and predictions and foreshadowing. And from what I know, he doesn't pull like a complete 180 twist. It might not go off how you think, but like the whole Thor dying, we foreshadowed.
He told us at Immortal Thor 1, right? Yeah.
He told us right away what was going to happen, and it happened. So I think he's going to continue that. I think Enchantress is going to kill Magni.
So, but do you think that'll happen this year though, Eric, or do you think that's going to happen at 25 next year?
I don't know. I don't know. I think there's so much to explore in this new status quo right now. And it depends on how much fun Al is having with it. Because I think his style is you have a big framework, but you kind of dance in the moment. And if he's enjoying it so much, he could stay here for a while.
Yeah, I think that's probably fair. Like he has those guardrails. It's like we can go here, but like on this part of the highway, we can go, 40 miles an hour, 60, 80. We can kind of go at different speeds at different times.
I can also go kilometers an hour because he's British and I'm Canadian, so we actually outrank you in this scenario.
And on the other side of the road,
know what?
Yeah.
That does actually make more sense, and how he would think about it. Eric hit on the one thing that I really want from this book this year. I need Beta Ray Bill to show up in some facet, because if he is in this version of Midgard that we're being presented with, if Beta Ray Bill is the stand-in for Thor as a founding Avenger, I want to see him. I want to see him interact with Sigurd in some way. And for maybe Beta Ray Bill to be like, this guy, like there's something like in him that's like, this something doesn't seem right about this guy. Like, I don't think a fight would be fair between them, because if Beta Ray Bill is the stand-in and like we've said, Thor is kind of like Daredevil.
If you want to really show that Sigurd is kind of like standing on his own despite being the mortal Thor, being able to maybe hold Stormbreaker would be a very cool way to end the fight. As he's getting kind of beat around and then he catches it or something would be a cool way to get us there. Yeah.
And like that's like kind of the big hint to Beta Ray Bill, like, oh, this is not just a dude. Like this is something. Yeah,
he's like, I felt this connection before, like a brother in thunder, but like it's been a long time since I felt that. I didn't believe it was real anymore, and then you get that.
Yeah, I think the book is headed off into some fantastic places. Faz, this is kind of where I need you to take over, because there's another version of Thor going around in Marvel Comics right now, the Ultimates version of Thor. And I need you to kind of like, where's our guy headed? We know there is an end game at play here in this big meta story. So where does Thor and Sif and Loki, where do they fit in this?
So there's two big things that are going on with our very fresh breathed Thor. Our ultimate Thor. He number one, we had a Thor-centered issue last year. It was written in prose. It was a poem. It was an homage to the Walt Simonson all splash pages issue. This year, Ultimates 23 is the second half of that story. It is where, and Denise has said that it's an ode to Norse mythology in a different way. Maybe it'll be written not in prose, but perhaps it'll be an edda or it'll be cyclical. I'm not sure how it's going to work, but it's experimental. It's the 23rd issue. I think 20 comes out next week or the week after. So it's coming out around...
There's a few months.
It's March is when it comes out. And it's going to kind of tie up this war for the realms and this Ragnarok that Thor has instituted at the end of that issue. Now, he and Sif have been off board. They haven't been doing anything with the Ultimates. And when the Ultimates have asked for help, Thor has become kind of a Zeus in the sky and said, screw you guys, I'm going home, and then went back to do his stuff in Asgard. So Denise Camp at New York Comic Con teased that there is going to be some connection in Ultimate Endgame with Thor. We don't know what it is. I'm hoping for an Infinity War style last second save in connection with the fact that it's called Ultimate Endgame. Right. And he'd come in there, but he obviously has to finish whatever he's doing in Ultimates before he can do that in Endgame.
I'm assuming you know this, Faz, but for listeners that don't know, the short solicitation for Ultimate number 23 is Thor and the Flames of Asgard. Thor and Sif join the war on the Maker in this grand epic. Thor's deal with Surtur comes to fruition, and each page is a masterpiece in its own right. Yeah. So it sounds like we're getting full pages again, like we did in the previous issue, which that was Juan Frigeri on the one.
It was, yeah. And this one we have a guest artist for.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe Juan is busy doing the rest of the Ultimate stuff, and then they've got, I can't remember who it is. Noto, maybe that's on
Oh,
on Ultimate Endgame, something like that.
oh, Noto. That's good stuff. Is there anything else about Thor, Sif, Loki that we need to know before we move on to a few more related Thor comics?
Longtime listeners will know how much I love Thor and Sif, and in Ultimates they are together. So that is a great thing for Thor and Sif shippers. I don't know what you call that. I don't know if it's Thif, if it's
I believe they're
Sor.
sippers.
That word mashup is real tough. It's like,
Yeah.
it's not a cute couple's pet name. It's sort of like a Thif or
Yeah, Thif
Sor.
or Sor are tough. Also, it's Jonas Scharf that's doing Ultimate Endgame. My apologies for having the wrong penciler there, but Scharf is killing it after the first issue.
Well, so we
I'm
have
a big
lots
Thif
of,
guy.
we have lots to look forward to in those. Two other books that we're going to be keeping a close eye on this year are Doctor Strange and Null. Null is getting his first limited series, and we've talked about Doctor Strange a little bit here on the podcast. We've reviewed issue 1. Issue 2 is coming out very, very soon. So I feel like we should give Null his kind of moment in the spotlight here. Why are we talking about Null and a limited series with his name on it? Well, Eric, can you tell us what happened at the end of Venom 250, also written by Al Ewing? So that's also another connection we have with Al here.
Yeah, so Al Ewing was writing the all new Venom line that I think was supposed to be like a limited series, and it just kept going and going and going.
Yeah.
And people were loving this. And in Venom 250, big landmark issue, there are a few pages. It's not a lot, but it's enough to definitely tease some kind of an event or at least a confrontation between Hela and Null. And Hela has Null trapped in a cage. She alludes to the fact that he was revived, but he's not at his full power yet. And so she took that opportunity to basically pounce and imprison him. And she introduces herself as the Queen in Black. And that's kind of all we know. And then we get this footnote that says will be continued in Null #1 coming up. So that's almost here. We're finally going to find out where this picks up and hopefully get a little bit more backstory and see what Hela, who is, the Norse queen of the god of the dead, right? The queen of hell. Like she's very formidable. And if Null's not at full strength, I think if Null was at full power, it would be maybe tip in favor of Null, but Hela is no slouch, and she's trying to assert herself as the queen in this new territory.
And do you know what's really fun about this, guys? You've heard of MCU synergy, but have you heard of Marvel Rivals synergy?
Oh God,
that's what's happening here.
Okay,
the Queen in Black Hela was so popular in the Marvel Rivals game that they were like, fuck yeah, let's do that in the comics. And here we are. They got Donny Cates' seal of approval last year, where he tweeted something to the effect of, fuck, why didn't I think of that? And here we are making it Marvel Comics canon.
That's great.
That is nuts.
Yeah.
I will say also, the last time Hela showed up in a book was also not a Thor book. Can anybody on this chat tell me the last time Hela showed up, 616 Hela showed up in a Marvel comic?
What do I win when I tell you it's that the issue 8 of New Champions at the end of
the... Oh, right.
She was the reveal with Hellrune.
Yeah. They summoned her, and they shouldn't have, because she was like, what the hell?
She was like, bitch, better have my money. Yeah. Like, there was a lot of tomfoolery at the end of that issue, and I'm excited to see Hela as the villainous other half of a book that features one of the biggest villains of the last decade, like brand new villain, and Stegman is doing the covers. I'm excited for this book because I can't wait to see Hela shine against, like Eric said, a villain that is probably superior to her in power level, but how she's going to combat him and what Al Ewing is going to do with the symbiote lore and how that's going to be woven into Hela's realm of death. I'm very excited to see what happens with that 5-issue limited series, I believe.
Yeah.
I believe it's a 5-issue.
Man, what a chance for if this is a chance for Hela to get like such a great glow up. I mean, I know she's never really been like gone. She's never been off the board for too long, but I also can't remember a time that she's had like more than a few issue arc as being sort of like the villain of the month or something like that. She really needs to get like catapulted back into the spotlight, I think.
She was like the overarching villain of Walt Simonson's run, but that's talking like mid 80s. And I can't think of a time that she had that much of a role since then. She
had the spell that made Thor become breakable and fragile and then not be able to die, even though he turned into jelly. But she wasn't really even like confronting him. She just planted this little
No. Remember Thor ran into hell and brought back people, and Hela was like, bro, the fuck, and that's why she did this to him. like of the 38 issues or however many Walt is, something like 14 of them involve Hela. That's pretty, as far as an overarching villain goes, that's the most you can get, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Like she's there at the beginning, the middle, and the end. She's just not like every 3 issues.
They don't
interact
a whole lot. Yeah. She's not throwing punches. She's like sitting in her chair of skulls.
Oh. Yeah, and like, how can I ruin him now? And also maybe date him, depending on what part of the comics lore we're in right now.
Yeah, how am I related to this guy at this point? And is it acceptable?
It doesn't matter in this scenario. Yeah.
I mean, you actually raise an interesting question that is not worth exploring right now. But has Hela ever been a Marvel line-wide threat? Like,
I don't know.
I think she could be. But she's never been on the level of a Thanos or Malekith was a line-wide threat.
He got the glow up. He got the
exactly.
Now it's a line-wide glow up. So
I'm not gonna lie. If there was a big crossover event and Hela was the big bad, I think that would be awesome. And excited to see how the glow up happens in Null. One just quote here I wanted to grab from Marvel.com. The co-writer, along with Al Ewing, Tom Waltz, said the King in Black has once again risen up from the void to cause delicious havoc and mayhem across the universe, and we've got surprises aplenty in store. 5 issues. I have a feeling they're going to throw the kitchen sink at this, and I'm very excited about it. Doctor Strange is also going on. We're covering Doctor Strange. Would just like to continuously remind people we're covering this because Steven is still in Asgard. Currently, he's in Alfheim trying to sort things out with the Light Elves and the Dark Elves with the help of Angela and the Angels. There's a lot of different pieces being...
Is 2 next week?
Yes, at the time of our recording, both Null #1 and Doctor Strange #2 come out. Then we're ready to get maybe not some answers, but to kind of continue figuring out who Verboten is, what Scythe Magic is, all those different things. And I just skimmed over the solicit for #4 for Doctor Strange, which will come out in March, and it references Strange and Angela trying to stop the conflict between the Angels and the Dark Elves before a potential second War of the Realms would break out.
Why does that Dark Elf look like the MCU Dark Elves?
You know what, Faz? That's a great question. The Alex Horley cover for #4 does have a very Christopher Eccleston Dark Elf on it. You seem intrigued by it.
I am intrigued, but I love comic Malekith, and I don't want him to look like the MCU version. So we'll see.
But guys, any predictions or things you want to see from Doctor Strange or Null going forward into 2026?
I'm hyped for it. I love that book.
Oh my gosh, the Doctor Strange book is an Asgard book, so you can't go wrong with it. It's amazing. The scythe magic is so interesting. Verboten is Dutch for forbidden. So that's our villain. And he is, what did you say? It was like an anime villain. He's got Malekith energy.
Everybody's anime in this. Yeah.
He looks, the Yvonne Fiorelli art just lends itself to like, oh my gosh, this is like the best Yu-Gi-Oh arc you've never heard of.
Yes, absolutely.
I want to see more Angela in Doctor Strange. I also want to see what other maybe forgotten or underutilized Asgardian characters we can bring in. And we know, like, we were such a big fan of what Derek Landy did with Strange of Asgard, the limited series from the One World Under Doom crossover. He created so much of a rich world. And with this ongoing Doctor Strange book, I just have a feeling he is going to do that more and more and more. I mean, the first issue, Faz and I talked about this, the first issue felt like it was bigger than one issue. It felt so packed with all this different, with different lures and different things that we can go off, scythe magic, this new villain, this like the Riala, the princess of Alfheim, like, is she actually bad, or is this like a shadow version of herself? There's so many different questions that were proposed in issue 1, and I feel like Landy is going to have a hell of a time unpacking it in the following issues. I'm excited to see where that goes. Faz, you just sent in our chat here that there was another book we probably need to at least mention. What is that book?
Yeah, so there's this current Battle World story going on. I think it's a 5 or 6 issue mini, and one of the main characters is Old King Thor from the Jason Aaron run, brought in from an alternate timeline in order to be in this story. I just like my deific duo pal Eric tells me, I think it ends next week at the time of recording today. I've been collecting. I haven't been reading, though. I'm going to read it in a row when it's done.
Yeah.
But it has been, the first issue was really good. I haven't read obviously 2, 3, 4, but anything that has Old King Thor in it is worth reading. So,
and it really is Old King Thor.
Yeah,
it's the guy, and you see this variant cover right here. It is such a cool, badass variant that the December 17th Battle World number 4 Esad Ribic art variant has the King Thor masthead on it.
Yeah.
So it's not just a variant where they have the art different. They actually have the King Thor masthead on the
It's also confusing as heck because it says 5 variant edition, because it would be the 5th King Thor, but it's the 4th Battle World. So when I saw this in stores, I was like, what is going on? And I didn't pick it up. And then I got home and I was like, why didn't I get the Assad cover? What am I doing?
Oh, is that why it says 5? That is super confusing.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense because they're acting like, oh, it's King Thor 5,
King
which
Thor
maybe
5,
it is.
kidding.
I should probably read it, but like,
guys, we don't need that like amount of like next level thinking. Maybe
way too confusing.
Once all of Battleworld is out, maybe that will be worth an episode of us kind of reading all the way through Battleworld and taking another adventure with King Thor. For now, though, we're gonna switch over to what we have to look forward to in 2026 with the MCU. Now, Eric and I did do a breakdown of the teaser trailer that was released, Thor's teaser trailer, a few weeks ago. So if you want to check that out, just scroll down a little bit further in whatever podcast app you're using. You can click that, and we give about a 20-minute breakdown of our the vibes we got from the trailer. So I feel like, Eric, it would be most fair for us to let Faz go off on this however he so chooses, because he did have some choice words for how we handled the costuming aspect of this teaser trailer. And he is our resident apparel expert.
That's not true. I am not a resident apparel expert. I'm our resident Thor costume expert. That is the only apparel that I can be.
You dress better than I do, so you've got that on.
Yeah, but I don't dress nearly as well as Hercules. You've just offended our guy, Ryan. That's not good.
1,000 apologies. Baz, what did you think of the teaser trailer, and where do you want to drill in on the costuming?
So, firstly, listeners, I had one request because I couldn't make it to the talk about the
I already apologized.
I said to both Ryan and Eric, and I told them separately too, in addition to together, please talk about the costume because it's very cool. And the one thing they didn't talk about in their 32-minute or however long it was, listen, which is a good listen, you guys should listen to it, was not the costume. It's fine. It's fine. I'm
over it, obviously.
I can't make it. Just do one thing for me, and that is mention the costume.
Both of them were rendered unworthy for this. They were stripped of their titles and they were thrown to Midgard to learn humility. If I recall correctly, Ryan groveled and received firstly, he finished his penance and received his worthiness back. I think Eric might still be unworthy though, so look forward to Unworthy Hercules coming to Marvel Comics stands mid 2026. But no, they did a great job talking about the Doomsday stuff. We're really getting an Infinity War vibes Thor in pretty much every way. He's got the short hair, he's got the different colored he's got the scar on his eye. He might have different colored eyes. I couldn't tell closely enough in the 1080p video we got. And his costume appears to be Infinity War with some gold accents, which is very, very cool. And it kind of shows the vibe they're going for. It feels like we've done the comedy movie thing. We're going for the serious melodrama again, along with his Shakespearean talk. So I'm really looking forward to all of that. And the costume, guys, is just a little bit of an improvement on what is maybe the best MCU Thor costume, which is just freaking awesome. And given the discussion of the power of the All-Fathers, the fact he's going to get the Odin Force probably is very cool. And the fact that they're not retconning my favorite Thor movie, Thor: Love and Thunder, by keeping Love there. There were rumors that because he was in short hair and because he had his Infinity War costume, that it'd be a different Thor and we wouldn't get Love. And I would have been really bummed to lose her. So it's great that she is still there. I am all in on what we're going to get there. And I am very excited to see short-haired Thor again because it makes cosplaying so much easier.
I love it. Now, Eric and I talked about this a little bit at the end of our breakdown, Faz. How much more do you want? Like in the lead up to this movie, we're still practically a year away. What is your stance on that?
I want a Super Bowl trailer that reveals Doom.
Hey.
That's about it. But the big thing that I need is I need a HD photo of Thor in his costume straight forward at the camera so that I can make the costume.
So you can start working on it.
Right.
Because
that we get. Yeah.
There are rumors about what it looks like, but I'm not going to work off of rumors because I want to make sure I know for sure when it's there.
Right.
That's the main thing that I want. But otherwise, I want as little as I can have. But I do want to see Doom. I think that's important to get kind of the general public amped about it, and also just to see, is it Victor Von Doom? Is it an RDJ variant? It's hard to say, right? And I don't want too much more. Like, I'm not going to be reading the leaks about the stories that come out.
Right.
I'm not going to be reading if there's a second and third and fourth trailer, I'm going to do everything I can to not watch those. The Endgame rollout where they only talked about the first 10 minutes of the film and all the trailers only had the first 10 minutes of the film were perfect. And I get that this one has to be the opposite because Marvel's not as hot as it was then, and they're going to super spoil stuff to get people to go. But I'm already going, so I don't need to see all that.
Well, and that's something Eric and I hit on too. Is like most of the people listening to this, they're already going. Mm-hmm. Most of the mega nerds who are even on the periphery of Marvel stuff, they're going to go see this. It's how do you get the non-engaged, the broad appeal audience to go? Like
these current teasers, like my parents have fallen off the Marvel bandwagon. During Endgame, they watched it. They thought it was cool. During COVID, they watched every single Marvel movie and were like, oh my God, this stuff is amazing. And then they watched Endgame and they were like, it's so much better when you know the buildup. It's like closing the book on a 10-year journey that we've been on. And I was like, yeah, you're right, Mom and Dad. And then they kept going. And then through COVID, they kind of fell off a bit. Yeah. But now because of the teasers that have come out, they went back and they watched Captain America 4 and they're like, that was solid. And then they watched Thunderbolts and they were like, that's the best one I've seen in years. And now they're watching Fantastic Four and they're very excited for Doomsday. All of this kind of teaser stuff is for them. for
Yeah.
people that aren't superhero fans that got kind of caught up in the moment in Endgame, have
Yeah.
fallen off, and now we have to get them back in the wagon. And I don't need to see the big reveal from the third act that's going to be in the third trailer,
Yeah.
because I'd rather that hit for the first time on screen on December 18th during the Doomsday doubleheader that we'll all be doing.
The Doomsday doubleheader. And just so you know, everybody, that's the only project that Thor is confirmed to be in this year for Marvel, movies or TV. There are quite a few other projects coming out. We have one other movie. Spider-Man has another movie coming out this summer. Excited for like all the different Hulk and Punisher and things that are going to be happening in that. There's, Wonder Man, Daredevil season 2. Then we have Vision Quest, a few animated series. X-Men 97 is getting its second season. I am super hyped for that. And Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man is getting another season this year. And I believe there is a Punisher special presentation, kind of like Werewolf by Night, that is supposed to be coming out this year. A lot of other different projects. I don't see Thor being in those, not like the What If series. Like the What If series was great because we had one of my favorite versions of Thor in a long ass time, in that What If series from this last year. Definitely I feel like we just need to do an honorary Bifrosty for that portrayal of Thor alone. But is there anything else with the MCU TV movies that we need to talk about with Thor? Because Doomsday is really the only thing we're focused on in that vein. Eric, you got anything to add?
No, I mean, like we were talking about, I like going with the confirmed stuff. So, I mean, there's a lot of ideas that Thor's probably going to be in Secret Wars, but like at the same time, unless we know for sure, I guess we'll wait and find out.
This could be the end, right? He did just give a passionate speech in a teaser begging his father Odin to help him return home safe. That's not usually something that happens when Thor's just having a fun Tuesday.
Yeah. Please, please, please help me survive. It's like, yeah,
it's like I thought I'd lost everything I could possibly lose, and now I've found the one thing that is a stronger connection than anything I've ever had. And Father, I can't lose this too. So you better believe his head's getting cut off at some point in the movie.
It's like they did Tony dirty after he made essentially the same kind of speech.
Yep.
It's like, I love my daughter. You're dead. You are so
dead. As long as I make it back for Morgan, that's all that matters. And he's dead.
I am excited for the Dad Avengers, though. The Dad Avengers is a vibe. I'm excited for that. Moving on to just not comics, not MCU related. Any other kind of projects that we see Thor popping up in, maybe Loki, maybe other characters that we're familiar with. I have one that I'm incredibly excited about, but guys, I wanted to know if there's anything on the gaming, action figures, that kind of thing that we're excited and looking forward to. Faz, you're tapped into the chatter. Anything on the radar for this year?
One might say I'm connected. The only gaming thing while I'm thinking of it is that the Marvel Rivals devs love Thor, and he tends to get lots and lots of cosmetics, and we're still waiting for kind of an event that is Thor themed. Like, we've had a lot of seasons, but not one that's big Thor like. So I'd love them to do that at some point. They just gave us a female Loki skin, which is amazing.
Oh, cool.
It's based on the one when Loki's inhabiting Sif's body. Obviously, it's very, very, very cool and comic accurate, and they continue to do really well by the Thor world in Rivals, whether it's Hela, Loki, Thor, or Angela. So keep playing Rivals, keep using those characters, and keep telling the devs you love them, because they'll keep giving us stuff.
Awesome. Is there anything else outside of comics and movies and MCU stuff that you're excited for with Thor in 2026, man?
I think you've covered everything that I can think of, unless if I'm missing something. But Eric will tell me if I'm missing something, and I'm excited.
Not that I can think of. I don't know. I mean, there's probably what, like statues and figurines and action figures and stuff that we're maybe just not as knowledgeable about, but I'm sure stuff's like dropping all the time.
Well, and I'm sure once Doomsday comes out, we're going to have a ridiculous amount of merch associated with Doomsday and however Thor looks there, right? So we'll get a lot of stuff once that happens. We can't know yet. It's too early. The Super Bowl hasn't happened. Doom hasn't appeared on the field and destroyed the San Francisco 49ers and whoever they're playing in the Super Bowl. Hasn't happened yet. Just like The Dark Knight Rises.
I want Lego sets, but I don't want to be spoiled by Lego sets. I remember the exact moment that I had the gore look of Love and Thunder ruined for me, spoiled for me, because it was the blurry side of a Lego box picture that was on like Reddit or something. I'm just like, what? Like that little gray blob is gore? Like, what is that?
But for these Avengers movies, they're really good at making Lego sets that are not scenes in the movies, and then only doing like Lego sets that are connected like 4 years later. Like they just did like an Age of Ultron one. Usually it's like, Hulk flying out of the Hulkbuster, which did not happen. Or like Thor fighting a giant fish that was not in any of these things. And then,
giant, just generic fish monster. I love generic fish monster.
it was going to be Aquaman, but he was too unpopular and stupid. So instead they went with generic fish monster.
You have to hurt me just over and over again. I guess I have the one thing that's outside of comics and the MCU that I'm the most excited about. I am a fan of playing the game Magic the Gathering.
Loser.
Let it out.
I'm just jealous because I don't know the rules.
Yeah.
A few years ago.
I'm too late to join this hobby, so I'm just going to make fun of Ryan, even though I'm jealous.
I am hundreds and hundreds of, probably thousands of dollars deep into this game. So a few years ago at San Diego Comic-Con, there was a release that Marvel had signed a licensing agreement with Wizards of the Coast that produces Magic the Gathering, and they came out with promo cards for Black Panther, Storm, Wolverine, Captain America, and they were fantastic. A lot of them were original cards, but they did some, variant. Like they did like a Captain America skin on a card that already existed. But at that time, people weren't really sure what was going to become of this agreement. Well, earlier this past year, 2025, a full Spider-Man set was released. Now, most Magic the Gathering players absolutely fucking hated it because they're like, Spider-Man doesn't make sense in this. It's a game about wizards doing space shit. Like, let's not pretend like it's this elevated classical literature that you're ruining with putting a superhero on it. I enjoyed the Spider-Man set, but this summer in 2026, a Marvel superhero set is coming out that appears to be more Fantastic Four, Avengers coded. There have been a few different cards released. The entire Fantastic Four, Doctor Doom has a card, Captain America, Incredible Hulk. They have their own cards that have been released. There is not a confirmed Thor card release yet, or other like Loki or Sif or Beta Ray Bill. There's not any of those cards released just yet. But when the full set comes out, I will probably be alone in doing a full review of the spoilers for that. I'm excited to see what Thor looks like in this game, because there have been other cards in the history of this game that are Thor coded, but like a few years ago, they did a Norse mythology set called Kaldheim, and Kaldheim was just a very flavorful D&D style Norse adventure. And there was a stand-in for Thor in that set of the game named Torolf, God of Fury, and he had his I'm going way too deep in on this, but I love it.
Let's go, Ryan. Give me the details.
So Torolf is a creature card that at some point transforms into another card called Torolf's Hammer. So it's all Thor coded, and there are some mechanics from that set that I hope make it into Thor in the official Marvel set. I'm just excited to see what Thor becomes in this set and how OP he is, because there is kind of no way to do him as a Marvel Magic card where he's not OP and a game winner. I'm excited for that. Can't wait to see when it comes out. And I will be buying a box right away because I'm a slave to capitalist trends. And I love original Magic the Gathering sets. Some of the best story building I've ever seen in a game to continuously build story upon itself. But the Marvel sets...
Does it have a well-beloved TV show? Because Pokemon does and Yu-Gi-Oh does.
It doesn't, but several different times projects have been in development. It's just it's too complex of a game to
be able to do it in like a 20-minute anime episode. Is that
right?
The issue?
So to put this in Thor comics terms, Asgard has 9 realms. If you were to do that with Magic has like 50 plus realms. You can't, like, it's too much. It would be like doing it's not as extreme, but it's like Warhammer 40K or World of Warcraft,
or even just to keep it in comic terms, doing a TV show that's based on the entire Marvel universe, not just the Avengers or X-Men or Thor or something like that.
It's too much to consolidate into a movie or even a well done series because you have to trim so much. And the whole, like, the glory of the game is there's so much you can be so creative and express yourself in the building of these decks. But I'll be buying a Thor card and probably all of the variants of him. One other thing I love about this Marvel superhero set is they are doing they're doing comic panels as cards. So they're like the Horn of Doom panel that's been parodied so many different times. That is a card in the Marvel superhero set where Namor is in front of Doom and Doom is blowing that
he's
horn.
like, fool, Doom does as he pleases. That one.
But that like they put that on an official Magic card now. So that's like the nerdiness of two hobbies clashing is what I'm very much looking forward to. That is my thing. One of my things about Thor that I'm excited the most about for this, and I already know that there's a Ben Grimm thing card, so I am Gucci on all the different stuff for this year. So, guys, any other 2026 thoughts that we need to get off our chests as we go into the year? I know we still have the Bifrosties to do to hand out some awards that maybe someday will be prestigious. But any other things about 2026?
Oh my gosh, there's a lot of great stuff to look forward to. I think Faz has convinced me. I'm not ready to wrap up 2025 until we officially give out some Bifrosty awards and probably give impromptu acceptance speeches as characters, maybe if you feel like it.
That's a great idea. That's a great idea. And that's why today is, at the time of recording, December 39th and not January 8th, because we haven't done the Bifrost.
It feels like it. It feels like it.
Oh man, I love it. Baz, any parting shots?
We've covered Thor. Everybody else knows that we do have other characters we like, but that'll be a 2026 video for another time. Yeah, I think that we've covered a lot of the Thor stuff. Everybody get out there, buy Thor merch, beg Marvel to make more Thor merch, beg Marvel to make Thor slippers in 2026. That's what we really need.
That needs to be your pet annoying thing you're going to be on the internet. It's like every Marvel post, it's like, I don't see Thor slippers yet. Slippers yet. And some poor intern at Marvel's going to be like, there's this guy that is in every comment section talking about fucking slippers.
No, I can't do that because then they'll never actually give them to me, right? I have to be reasonable and respectful.
Squeaky wheel gets the grease, man.
Not like that.
The squeaky Faz gets the slippers. And that sounded inappropriate. So everybody, if you want to continue to interact with us, we have a few different ways we can do that. Discord, Instagram are our main socials, and you can also support the show at Patreon for a few bucks a month. It just helps us kind of keep the lights on. If you're feeling extra generous today, please give us a review and a rating. Faz will read reviews. He is absolutely dying for reading material, and people have provided him nothing
left to read because I've read every issue of Superman now. So what am I supposed to do? And I've read every issue of Thor. There's nothing left to do except read reviews, guys. Please give me something.
every issue of Superman would be an absolute like that. You'd get on the news for that.
Hey, Eric.
That's incredible.
Once we finish Road to 800, how do you feel about Road to 1356 or however many we're at?
Oh gosh.
God, no.
Imagine those 30s comics will make us want to quit comics entirely too. We have to start there.
Gosh.
Like,
Oh my goodness.
I don't like that he calls her a dame all the time. It's so weird. Guys, I have enjoyed looking forward to 2026. I hope the listeners have enjoyed it as well. We're very excited for what's going to happen in the world of Thor and beyond. And I think we're going to have a fantastic year. So everybody, no matter where you are, no matter what you're doing, if you are looking back on 2025 and you're like, man, that was some good Thor shit in 2025, or if you're looking forward to 2026 and you're like, man, I think we can do even better in this next year, whether you're excited about movies coming up, you're excited about comics coming up, or like me, you get really long-winded talking about trading card games, whatever you are excited about in 2026, just remember to do one thing, and that is stay worthy.
Ba-dum.